everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
Now, as a parent, I have 7 children. And one thing I always tell people to not give me as a gift for my children is Play-Doh. I know, you guys like Play-Doh.
Either it dries out or Jimmy smushes the colors.
Well, yeah, that's what happens, right? You get blue Play-Doh and green Play-Doh and orange Play-Doh and purple Play-Doh. But by the time you're done with it, it's all brown, right? It's always brown.
Or it's dry.
Right, yeah, okay. But there is some cool things. Like when I was a kid, I had a spaghetti Play-Doh. You pressed it and went through. It's fun to play with Play-Doh. It's just kind of a pain. When I heard about this game, Necromolds. In Necromolds, it's a combat game, but if you kill your opponent's creature, you smash it. Now, normally you cannot do that in a miniatures game. If I build a miniature that costs $30 and spend time putting it together and painting it, and you kill it and then smash it with a hammer, we would be done playing the game. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yes.
But this game you can smash. In fact, it's encouraged to smash the stuff.
Or use a steamroller, I guess.
I don't. You get special rings in this. You're like a summoner, and you're summoning creepy, moldy creatures.
That are pink.
That are pink. So for this set, just so you know, when I'm going over this, I'm talking about the base game, but I also got a couple expansions that added some more monsters and some more colors of Play-Doh and things like that. Here's how it plays. Player's going to have some command dice, some attack dice, a measuring ruler, and you're also going to have some spell books for your army. Players can share spell books if you want to. There's actually cards. If I'm playing with the Grave Ghoul, we can both use it, and then you just take this card so you remember the stats of the Grave Ghoul. But we usually play where you have your own spell books. You can, use just one spell book, but the game kind of encourages you to use more than that. When you have a spell book, you're going to open it, and the most important thing you need is a jar of clay. You're going to take this clay, put in an amount in the spell book itself. That's probably too much. That's way too much. Squeeze it down, and now you have your figure here. You peel off the excess, which you can use to make more creatures, and now, I have a creature who can fight in this battle. Now you can make as many creatures as you want through clay. So that's your army building. So let's say my opponent, they're going to make, that was one creature. We're now going to take a look at the insectomite here. So I'm going to fill this up with clay. Let's build that insectomite. Oh, wow, he came right out. Look at him. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's kind of gross looking. All right, so you're going to set up a game board. Now, there are multiple ways to play the game. There's a basic way where you kind of just move everybody around. There's an advanced way, and then there's kind of the middling way. But you're going to build armies, put them on this board. You can put terrain up if you want to. And then each round of the game, players are going to roll command dice. There are 4 things you can get in command dice: magic, ranged, movement, or wild, which can be any of the other 3. Players will take turns one at a time assigning these dice to their characters. Now, you can always spend a magic to get gems. Gems are used to add more dice in combat, but the rest of the dice will be assigned onto the player's thing themselves. Some players have magic. I can put magic on here, and it says rotate this, and this guy becomes an entirely different skill tree. Not everyone has magic. For example, the mud bumps don't have any magic here, but the Fungin here, when you put it on here, he gets +1 range for each smashed ally in medium range. So you can do that. You can put magic on them, or you can place dice on them to make a ranged attack or to move. In this case, this guy can move twice. He can move, or he can move range attack. This spot can be done by either. When you move or do a range attack, you'll notice there's arrows on there to show whether it's close, medium, or far, both in movement or range. This is measured by this ruler here. So if this monster is going to move close, I can do that. If I'm going to do medium, I would do that. Of course, I might just move right up into the enemy. And then the long distance here shows far. If you want to find range, are we within far range? Does it touch both? Yes, we're within far range. Medium, yes. Close, no, I'm not within close range. So this tool is used, and both players can have one so that they can use it. When you get into hand-to-hand combat with somebody, you're going to look at the number of dice that you have here. So this person gets 3 hand-to-hand combat. in close range, 1 when they're doing a ranged attack, and 2 on the defense. And both players can spend gems. The number of gems you spend is the number of the die that you're taking. So if I have 3 dice for an attack, I can spend 4 to get a 4th dice, 5 to get a 5th dice, etc. So can the defense. So let's say the attacker here is the pink one. They're rolling 3 dice. They're looking for hits. On each side of these dice, there are hits, shields, and then there are gems. If you roll these, you get more gems. So he rolls 3. Let's say the green has 2 on defense. So the green gets 1 defense and a gem. The attacker has 3 attack. So the attacker wins. Regardless who wins, the attacker or defender, someone's going to die. If it's a tie, they both die. So when that happens, you will take your ring. Each player has their own personalized ring, and you smash the loser, leaving their smashed corpse on the field. When you attack someone with a ranged attack, if they defend successfully, nothing happens. But if they die, then they're smashed again with the ring. And so as the game goes by, it's just going to become just terrible, havoc everywhere with these smashed corpses. And you're going to keep playing until one player wins, which is usually the last player with 1 or more monsters left on the board is the winner. The rulebook here is the first edition rulebook. I think I would have written it differently because they talk about components, then they explain the regular rules, and then in the middle they give you the basic rules, and I just would have started with the basic and then maybe added stuff. There's an FAQ, there's optional fan rules. I don't know why they just didn't say there's more rules. There's can you collect them all? So I'm going to talk about this here. I wish I had gotten all the monsters because the more monsters is better. I think I have up to 9. I think I'm missing 3 of the monsters. I wish I had gotten them all. But there's also collectible rings. That part I don't care about at all. I wish they hadn't added that in. Who cares? It's neat that you have these different rings, and the other rings that you get in the set have a glow-in-the-dark thing to them. So that's kind of cool looking, but Anyway, it's cool to see them. The art and the stuff, they talk in here. They talk about the different monsters and give background on them. And the spellcaster rings. There's even like a Where's Waldo thing in here somewhere where, hey, find this stuff on the page. And this hidden objects mini game thing. But the board itself is silly fun. It is a fun drawing. And the spell books are really nice. Component-wise, these come out so you can wash them. And then you can just put them back in. The Play-Doh itself works well. They even tell you, hey, when it hardens, you can paint it. But I think this should last for a while. And if it doesn't, I think you can just buy regular Play-Doh. So I'm pretty happy with all the components for this. It works really well. All right. Well, so I know that the two of you, I don't know that you ever play any miniature games. By miniature games, I'm talking about where you build stuff, you paint it, you measure how far it moves, you move and shoot at each other. There's a lot of these games out there. I don't think you've played any of them.
I cannot recall a single game where we've ever done that.
I've never even heard of that.
Okay, so this is their first miniature game of degree. In this one, you do that, right? You measure with the device, but it's really easy. You don't have to use a ruler. In some games, it would say someone could move 11 inches, so you would measure out 11 inches and move them.
Such a pain.
It is a pain, but some people like it. In this game, you don't need to worry about that. You have one ruler, and you move the stuff. In this game, you also have command dice. What did you think about the command dice that let you roll them and decide what you're going to do with them?
I think that was a little bit interesting. You would get some stuff that would either be bad for your turn or good. It's not like any of them are necessarily bad.
And I should mention, by the way, I didn't say this in the rules overview. If you put a die on a spell book, you get to do that action with all the creatures of that. So you say, well, I'll just build everyone the same. But if you do that, the game gives you fewer command dice and fewer gems to start off with. But what did you think of the command dice?
I thought it was cool. The only side that I thought we actually thought was bad was shooting, but that's only if you get a lot of them.
Sure. But what did you think about combat, the rolling of dice? So you get some dice, you then get to spend gems to add more dice.
That was good.
I thought it was interesting. You could strategize whether if you want this one to live or let someone else live. And I also like the fact where you crush the thing at the end when you kill it.
You had no mercy.
That's just,
Okay, I was just about to ask you guys on that. What you thought of the crushing part?
That was.
Can we all agree that's the best part of the game?
yes.
Yes.
It's so satisfying.
And very
You might
fun.
have said I showed no
Violet,
mercy. I was avenging my
sometimes
two
she
dead
was like,
teammates.
to my.
Okay, so this is what happened. So me and Ruby played the game, and then Violet came, and Violet was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And she was playing it. And then Ruby killed one of hers and crushed it. Violet was like, that is not good. Then Violet got into the game, and then when she killed one of Ruby, she was like, Destructo! I fear for our lives after seeing what she did for these things.
One of them, she purposely crushed the head and the legs and left the arms intact. I don't know why.
It was to keep from moving, then I would crush the head slowly so that it'd feel more pain.
What is wrong with you? Anyhow, what did you think about molding them? That was pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it was
just
fun.
shove it in the thing, close it up, and then try peeling it out without it falling apart.
By the way, it is a brilliant maneuver to, instead of saying you have 80 points to build an army, to just say you can use all your clay. And the creatures take up more than that. That is fantastic. So, real quick aside, you guys don't play many miniature games. I do. There's nothing really groundbreaking about this one. You run at the enemy, you shoot, and everything else. But the crushing of the stuff, as dumb as that sounds, is dumbly fun. Fun, fun, fun. It really is. And then there's other things you can do, right? And also the special abilities. You know, after a while, you look at all the spell books and go, oh, I like this guy because this guy, you're the one who can change his stats every turn.
Yeah.
Then there's some that move faster, and you might want those in your army.
My favorite, I'm not sure if it was part of the expansion or not, was the giants. They
were all killed off
I
right
used
at the
like
beginning.
6. We only played this game twice.
Well, you only played it twice, but yeah, it's so entertaining. And I think this is one of those games that I feel like taking home and just playing because it lets you play with Play-Doh. It lets you do something with it that's actually fun, and when you're done, you look at the battlefield and you're like, I crushed you. In fact, the rules say if you play against a young child, when you kill their character, let them crush their own character. That way they still get fun. Like, oh, I killed you. Ah, but you get to crush your character. Yay! No, I mean, that's a thing. So, it's not a long game to set up and play at all. Like, I'll be like, hey, let's build an army. Blah, 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 blah. Put them out, roll some dice, run at each other, kill each other. Small board. Fast. 30 minutes. Maybe, what's it say in the box? It says 30, does that say 35 minutes? Come on now. All right, fine, 35 minutes. So, Ruby, what's your ranking of the game and thoughts, final thoughts?
I really liked this. The figures being played out, that I have never seen that before, but I'm very glad I haven't.
Well, I haven't seen it before, and I've seen a lot of games.
Yeah, and wow, I really like the smashing. The attack thing is pretty basic, but it's pretty good. I'll give it a 7.5.
All right.
I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was convenient having the Play-Doh motors and the character stuff on the same thing. I liked how quick and easy the game was to learn. I liked how colorful everything was. I would probably rate this a 8.5 out of 10.
All right, and I would give it an 8. In the middle, it's just so fun that I can ignore pretty much everything else. There's nothing, like I said, that's really new here except for using the Play-Doh as points and putting the dice in the characters and moving. Again, you just kind of run at your opponent, shoot at them, roll dice, hope for the best. 8-sided dice are fun to roll, but it's pretty lucky, right?
Yeah.
You just roll dice. But when it's over, even if you lose, you're like, let's do it again. And this time, I'm going to crush it so flat, you won't be able to peel it off the board.
That's bad. You really should.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility. Anyway, that is Necromolds. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Violet.
And I'm Ruby.
Have fun crushing Play-Doh.